There's one. Slam the worm off. Well, we pulled back over to this pond dam where we caught some this morning to see if they kind of grouped back up on it, and hadn't been here too long. Already got one. You can see down there on the lower right on that graph, the thermocline. I mean, it's down there probably 13, 14 foot. I mean, you pretty much want to focus from wherever that thermocline is at the top of it. From there, shallower. That's where all the fish are going to be. And if you're wanting to fish offshore, like what we're seeing right here, thermoclines in 13, 14 foot of water, that's the depth I'm trying to fish. Because it's hot, it's in the summertime, I think the fish are going to be as deep as they can. So I'm looking for some of these points and some of these ridges that, you know, that top out in 10, 12 foot of water. I know I can fish on top of it, and that's probably going to be where they're setting. There's one. Oh, he has got me wrapped up. Got him pinned to that tree right there. There he comes. Just a little fat fish. What I did was went to a little bit heavier head. I went to a 1/4 ounce. It's just getting so hot and there ain't much wind blowing. I think you're gonna have to get them to react to it now. So I want something falling a little bit faster than what I had, and hadn't had it tied on 5 or 6 casts and had 2 bites, so maybe that's what they want. Oh, where's another one? Little guy. Oh, he was buried up in that tree. Not big, but he's a fish. That's fun. One thing you want to be sure of when you're doing this is have a sensitive rod, and I mean definitely fluorocarbon where you can feel more. Because a lot of them fish, I mean, you got slack line. You know, when you're pitching that bait up to a tree, you're letting it fall on slack line. So you either got to be a line watcher or have a super sensitive rod where you can feel any little nick. Because when they thump it, there ain't no pecking on it and playing with it. When they thump it, they got it. You know, the rod I like to use on this small bait right here is just, this right here is just a Johnny Moore's Platinum Signature Series rod. It's a 7-1 medium heavy. It's not something that's too overpowering. It's the same rod I throw a spinnerbait on, you know, buzz bait, stuff like that. But it's not too heavy a rod. It's something light enough, small enough. You can flip, make little short pitches with it, but it's got enough backbone that you can drive that hook through that worm. I don't like a really, really stiff rod for this. I mean, it's personal preference, but I mean, I'm throwing this on 15-pound lines. Sometimes I'll even throw it on 12-pound line. Depends on, you know, the clarity of the water and what I'm fishing. But the same with the bigger lead shaker, and I throw it on a 7.4 medium heavy. And the only reason I do that, I mean, there's only 3 inches of difference in it, but it's just a little bit stiffer rod, a little more backbone, and it's a little bit longer rod. When you're making them big sweeps to set the hook, because I set the hook a lot harder on that than I do on this little worm. Probably don't have to, I just do. And you're making pretty long casts with it, so you're trying to take up a lot of line in a hurry. So a little bit longer rod. And I started out throwing it on a heavy action rod and thought, you know, I needed something heavy where I can really drive it. Well, I noticed I was losing some fish. And I think part of that was when you get that fish on, he comes up and jumps and he's 30 yards from you. That rod is so stiff, there's no give to it. And that fish just shaking that hook loose in his mouth. Or if you got something with a little bit softer tip, you've constantly got pressure on your bait while it's in that fish's mouth.